To run your company, you'll make decisions in 4 different areas of the business: research and development, marketing, production, and finance. In research and development, or R&D, you're responsible for creating products that meet your customers' demands. You can adjust your current products by moving the speed, accuracy, and/or service life sliders, or by adding a region kit. Anytime you make a change in the simulation, your page will update automatically and display the impacts. To create products that customers want, you'll need to pay attention to the customer buying criteria. Here, you can see what the low-tech and high-tech in each country expect for positioning, price, service life, and age. Adjusting speed and accuracy affects positioning, and this is displayed as coordinates on the perceptual map. These circles on the map represent positioning expectations for low and high-tech customers. If your product lands outside of one of these circles, it will not be purchased by that segment of customers. When you update a product's positioning, its age will automatically cut in half. This is because customers perceive an updated product as newer. If you want to boost demand for a product in a specific market, you have the option of adding a region kit. Region kits represent additional product features that are tailored to customers in a specific country. For example, imagine that there's a unique strain of the flu that is prevalent only in the United States. Adding a USA region kit to one of your products represents building a genetic testing device that can identify the virus. If added, you will see a boost in demand for that product for customers in the United States. However, the additional feature means it will cost more to produce the product. At the beginning of the simulation, all companies start with one product positioned in the middle of the low and high-tech segments. As the simulation progresses, these segments will drift away from each other, requiring strategic R&D decisions from all competitors. In marketing, you are responsible for selling your products to the market. You can set the price, promotional budget, and sales forecast for each product by moving the sliders to your desired value. You can also decide which markets your product will sell in. If you intend to sell a product in a specific country, you'll need to ensure that you've selected this option, and then set your price, budgets, and forecast. Just like in R&D, you'll need to pay attention to the customer buying criteria to set a price that targets the high-tech or low-tech segment in the countries you plan on selling in. Keep in mind that each country uses their own currency, which is reflected in their desired price ranges. Make sure you monitor the exchange rate when setting your price, as this fluctuates from year to year. Promotional budgets determine customer awareness of the product, and sales budgets will determine accessibility. Awareness and accessibility are additional factors that influence the customer's decision to buy your product versus a competitor's. Your sales forecast is a projection you must make that estimates how many units you expect your product to sell in that country. Developing an accurate forecast is important because your decisions in production and finance rely on this number. For more details on forecasting, see the user guide. In production, you are responsible for scheduling order quantities, distributing products to customers, and managing your plant's capacity and automation. But first, you'll need to make a decision about where your plant is located. In the first round of CapsimGlobal, you'll have the opportunity to decide where you want your production plant to be located. To make this decision, you'll want to weigh the pros and cons of each country and consider your company's long-term goals. These factors include shipping costs, defect rates, tariffs, and market demand. Once you set your plant location in round 1, production will be based in that country for the remainder of the simulation. You will not be able to revise this decision after round 1. For more information on choosing your production plant location, see the user guide. To schedule orders and distribute your products, use the sliders to order units in the countries you're targeting. This decision should be based on the forecast you created in marketing. Fulfilling forecasted demand requires you to monitor your plant's capacity. Your plant's capacity is the number of units it can produce running full-time for a year. Each of your products has its own production line. You can produce up to twice your plant's capacity, which schedules a second shift of workers and yields additional labor costs of time and a half pay. You can invest in extra capacity for the future by moving the slider. You can also invest in your plant's automation by moving this slider. Your automation level represents the amount of machinery and robotics in your plant. Labor costs will go down when you invest in automation. Both capacity and automation investments take a year to come into effect. When creating a new product, be sure to purchase capacity and automation the year prior to the release, so you can build units immediately when the product is ready. Finally, in finance, it's your responsibility to ensure the company has enough cash to run the business throughout the year. You can raise funds through three methods: issuing stock to the public, borrowing money through current debt, due next year, or borrowing money through long term debt, due in 10 years. You can also retire debt and stock by adjusting these sliders, and you can issue dividends to your shareholders here. Remember, it's important to make sure you don't run out of money in the present. If your company ends the year with a negative cash position, you'll receive a pricey emergency loan. Keep an eye on your December 31st cash position projection here. If it is negative or close to zero, it's a good idea to borrow money and avoid an emergency loan. One thing to remember: the December 31st cash projection assumes that the sales forecast you made in marketing is accurate. If you sell less than you forecasted, your cash position will be lower as well. When you are satisfied with your decisions, make sure to hit save. Users can re-enter to update further or advance to the next round. Now that you've got the basics, it's time to start developing your strategy. Check out the Capsim Global User Guide for more information. Good luck.